Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Behind the Dice, and today we are going to go over my top 10 favorite characters in Destiny. A little disclaimer before we start, these are my top 10 favorite characters. Just because they're on this list, that doesn't necessarily mean I think they are the best characters in the game. This is just my personal opinion of characters who I just think are very fun to run in the game and who I had good success with. So, without further ado, let's start the countdown. Kanan Jarrus is a very interesting character, I think. I love his ability, being able to resolve one of his dice before doing an action, and I don't know, there was a moment where you saw Kanan in a lot of tournament play. One of my biggest things in Destiny is I love being ahead of my opponent, and I feel like Kanan was able to do that. Good damage size, good ability, not a very high cost. Kanan was just a very fun character to use. Quigon Jinn. If there's another thing I love in Star Wars Destiny, is the longevity of certain characters and certain cards. And Quigon definitely fits that mold. I feel like Quigon never really goes away, and, well, honestly, for good reason. I love using shields in the game, I love manipulating shields, and Quigon is one of the best characters to do that. I know from experience playing against Quigon, he can be very, very frustrating, but if you're running him, he can be very, very fun to use. And the games, I feel like, are just very, very good when you're using Quigon. So, Qui-Gon's a very fun character. I don't see him really going away anytime soon, but we'll see what future sets have to hold. Oh, Palpatine. I remember when he was spoiled and before Spirit of Rebellion came out, and everybody was freaking out. Oh my goodness, this guy is going to change the game. He is going to be the best character in the game. But then quickly people realized that he's not as great as we thought. Only 15 health, incredibly high cost for elite and for 1 die, which, I mean, because of his ability, that makes sense. Which means he's very easy to mitigate, and you can't always do his 2 damage ability. But when things go right with Palpatine, he's very, very deadly, and that's very fun. I think cards in Legacies and Empire at War have made Palpatine better. And it's very good seeing Palpatine tournament play again, because there was a time where all you saw was E-Palp. If there's another thing that I love about Palpatine, is that I feel like most games I'm in involving Palpatine, whether I'm using him or against him, is that these games are always close. And I think that's very, very fun. Close games in Destiny. So, I don't know how much longer Palpatine is going to be relevant in this game, but right now he's still a very fun character to use. I might be putting Mother Talzin on this list, and it might be a little reactionary because I've been running her a lot recently, but I love being able to control my dice, and Mother Talzin gives you a very, very good opportunity to do that. Again, she's very versatile, does good damage, has a very good ability, and when paired with the right character, Talzin can be very, very deadly. I've had some success running Mother Talzin. Recently, I've been doing Mother Talzin and Callus, so we'll see what other cards and future sets have in store if they can make this character even better than she is now. while this may not be the best version of him, especially with the new Luke Skywalker coming out, I had a lot of success with original Luke, with classic Luke Skywalker. Whether it be tournament wins or casual play wins, I don't know. He's solid. He's a little high costed, but does decent damage. You can use some good blue hero cards and good health. Again, this isn't the best version of him, but I do think that he was very fun to use, and I don't know how much longer he's going to be used, but maybe I just put him on this list for nostalgic reasons. I love the character of Luke Skywalker in general, and I just had a lot of fun using Luke in the game, so that's kind of why he's even on this list to begin with. The fact that Yoda has no blanks on his dice gets him a spot on this list automatically. That, and he's a very, very unique character. He's a very, very diverse character. He can do a lot of different things. He can be paired with a lot of different people. Right now, I love running him in the Hero Mill with Yoda, Riken, and the Jedha Tarzin. So Yoda, I just think is a very fun character. We'll see what other combinations will be made with him, but again, the fact that he has no blanks was reason enough to put him on this list. Classic Awakenings Darth Vader. Again, another character that can do a lot of things. Another very versatile character. Very similar sides to classic Luke Skywalker, but he has the opposite effect of, instead of drawing a card, your opponent discards a card, which can make original Vader a milling machine when paired with the right characters. I love that he has 13 health, and you can keep him in play for a long time. And yeah, I just love versatile cards like him, and I wonder how much longer he's going to stay relevant in this game with future sets. Maz Kanata. Now, I feel like in every single set, there was a card that just seemed to perfectly fit with Maz. Whether it be Poe, whether it be Obi-Wan, or what have you. Or even Rey, paired with someone else. I mean, Maz has caused a lot of trouble in the meta, and I don't see Maz going away. Like I said earlier, I like cards with longevity, and Maz seems to have the longest run here in Destiny, and I don't see Maz going away anytime soon, just because she can really go with anybody, and that's just a very, very good thing. I think Maz has one of the best abilities in the game, which again, like I said earlier, I love being a couple steps ahead of my opponent when playing, so that's a big reason why Maz is on this list. Action cheating. If you've played with or against Rey, you know why this is very good. You know why a lot of people like Rey. And my favorite character in the game is Jango Fett. Not because he's the best, but because he was one of the first characters I used in this game. For the sole purpose of, wow, I can roll him out when my opponent rolls out? That seems very cool. But then I quickly realized that when you're playing against Jango, you kind of need to switch up your strategy a little bit and almost make your opponent roll him out. He does decent damage. He can be paired with a lot of people. Obviously, the classic Jango Veers, and like I said before, I like being ahead of my opponent, and Jango Fett is a great example of that. Load him up with some upgrades, he can do some serious damage. He may not be the best character in the game, but he's definitely my favorite character in the game, and I hope that he stays relevant in the future. So that is my list of favorite characters so far in Star Wars Destiny. Obviously, this list can change with future sets, but right now, as we stand, this is my top 10 list. What's your list of favorite Destiny players? Do you like my list? Make sure you leave a comment and let's start a discussion about our favorite Star Wars Destiny characters. Also, be sure to follow Behind the Dice on Twitter at Behind the Dice. No underscores, no spaces, no caps. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. New podcasts every Monday. And I would like to do this top 10 series weekly. So be sure to subscribe for that. Thank you so much for joining me today on this top 10 list of my favorite characters. And hopefully I see you again in the future. Have a good one.